Hi everyone, welcome back to Crazy for Retro. I'm Peggy Lou. I hope that your spring has been good so far. I've got a lot of fun things to show you for spring out here in our kitchen and dining room. So let's start with the dining room first. I hope it's not too dark in here. It's another gray day outside. I've found so many cute things in the past couple months that I will have fun showing you. I just love these cute little animal and bird salt and peppers from Japan. So I put some over there on that little shelf, and some other different salt and peppers and Japan pottery pieces up on the top of the hutch there. I used the same tablecloth as last year. Hope you don't mind. I have just 2 candle holders. Those are new lucite, just clear candles. And this is probably my favorite compote, milk glass compote. I do like that one over there too. I thrifted both of them. Was so surprised to find them. They're just so pretty. Have you ever tried to arrange pears or any fruit? Boy, is that hard. It's just really difficult. They just want to go every which direction and not the way you want them to. I just found this fun art bird. He's got a really tiny beak, skinny art glass, I should say. Thought I would just throw some M&Ms in there, Norm's favorite, dark chocolate ones. I believe both of these are uranium glass. Well, I'll have to check that one over there. I can't remember from last year. We'll check it. This is such a pretty Fenton emerald green, and then it's called Snowcrest. Little planter that I found last year at Bibles for Missions, and it was $2.99. I couldn't believe it. Maybe it was actually 2019. Yeah. I had these 2 roosters for at least a year. They were my brothers. And I did try painting the comb on the large rooster on the left last year, but I didn't like it after all. Up here by the back door, patio door, is a very cool rooster that was sent to me for my birthday from my new friend Kim in Ohio. She has a wonderful channel that I talked about in my last kitchen video that is called The Wellness Homesteader. So I did give you a link below in the description here. This is very definitely an olive green color for the shading. It might be a little hard to pick that color up, but it is really neat because it's also kind of iridescent glaze on it. Pretty snazzy, huh? I love the orange red on his crown. So I was thinking of doing that to the olive green ones down here. Sometime when I got a little extra time, I'll try that. I tried metallic gold on the big one, as I mentioned, and I didn't really care for it. So it was easy to take it off. I was happy to find this really cute, tiny footed planter. I have been collecting Very nice McCoy, or I don't know if some of them are Hull or not, but it seems like they're mostly McCoy. Different shades of greens, but I love them footed, and I decided to put them out in the kitchen this year on the shelving. I had them in the living room for a while, but I like them out here now. So anyways, this was the tiniest one of all. Very happy to find that. Down below, I brought back up from downstairs that crazy, probably 70s, big 30-cup coffee maker with all the fun mod flowers on it. I just love it. It's full of Easter collectibles. I kind of forgot all about that stuff last year. Never did look in there. So it does kind of go with these grapes. And another one of my very favorite compotes. This one's lower than the one on the table. And I did thrift this tray, very springy. I suppose that's dogwood, maybe. I'm not real familiar with dogwood because you don't see too many of them in Minnesota, but they do manage to survive here. So I did have this adorable little pig planter last year and the year before, maybe too, with a spring video or two. I'm not sure if I probably used her last year too. So this is actually my third kitchen and dining room spring video then. If you haven't seen my other two, they should be different. These Canadian geese, possibly. He's got a pipe. So funny. I have had for several years. And I just found this adorable tiny turtle. Very, very cute. I mean, these salt and pepper shakers are fairly small, so you can imagine how small he is. And I just purchased these for like $6. Some might get as high as $9 if they're bigger or fancier, but I was finding some very, very cheap ones. They're just so cute. Of course, there's a lot of crazing on some of these, but I liked her green hat. Up here, I have shown both of these before. I think they're so sweet. I didn't put any flowers in him or the pig. I usually do that at Easter time. This gorgeous ewer is so cool. Norm really likes it too. When I first showed it to him in Spicer, Minnesota, we went to a few weeks back, and this was there, and I just knew that's where I wanted to put it, was right there. I like, for a vase over here, I tend to like having a pitcher or a ewer. And this one is just so neat the way it's designed. I hope you can see the texture there too in the glaze. It is very smooth, but it's just got this neat texture. The lines are just so different. There is no identification on the bottom. Love that. On the Hutch bottom, I did show you in my previous video that my brother had given me this whole set of ironstone. It's called Independence. I just love it, but I will just show that again briefly. In here, you're going to see a little reflection because Norm and I decided to put the glass doors, heavy glass doors, back on the hutch. We were missing them. We felt it didn't really look quite like a typical hutch without the doors on it. We figured you'd still be able to see through to the things that I've put in here. It's just that, yes, there's going to be a little reflection, probably mostly of me. I tried to wear some dark clothing. This is a new set of salt and peppers. there's a whole bunch of them, a whole table full in Rogers, Minnesota, one of the antique malls. And I was having fun looking all over for green ones, and I found quite a few. I've had this little cow planter for several years now, and the cute little frog figurine. So I just put a half a candle ring in there. I had those up on top of this hutch last year, but they look nice in the little vase too. Over here is another pair of Japan salt and peppers that I found. I think they were $4 also. You've seen my little cow before, planter. And these I found, the celery stalks. So it added a lot of green for us to look at. And I have some exciting new glasses, tumblers. I just love these. Just last weekend, Norm took me to Red Wing. It's called Pottery Place. It's huge, and we just love going there. These were there from the trip before, and I don't know how many months it's been since we've been there. I couldn't believe they were still there. They're more your 70s glasses. And I knew they would be just beautiful in the hutch here. So I said, Norm, they're still here waiting for me. I've really, really pictured them in our hutch. It's so springy, and they're so sweet. And they were $22 for 8 of them. Now, really, isn't that reasonable? Think about it. Most glasses like that can be at least $5 each. So I think I got a real deal. $22. They're all in beautiful condition. I'm very, very thrilled. This was at Up Your Alley Vintage. They are reducing their inventory, and yesterday they started on Facebook. They showed that they were open for the weekend and that they would be discounting items. So I honestly did not get all of these. I should have taken a photograph of everything before we took them up to the counter, because tags do get removed in a lot of antique shops, and they do give you a printout often, but I'm just not remembering. But this was a very, very reasonable set, made in Japan. I thought it was so mod, and I loved, of course, the fact that it was olive green. Norm found these and walked up to me with them, and he said, I bet you'd like to have those. I said, yes, that would be very fun. I'm not crazy about the blueberries on it, but it's okay. It's not that much. And these were $4 for the set. Now, I think, and it was at a different antique shop, I think the creamer did have a little lid on it because, the sugar. Because the top of the creamer is finished, but the top of the sugar is not. So I didn't care. I think it's adorable when you just use something like that and put a little plant in it. So this is completely different looking than I've had other years. I hope you had fun seeing all that old Japan ceramic. And those really sweet glasses. Well, there's a lot of green in the video. Look at those droplets. That's nice. Yeah, most outdoor videos like this are going to have blue sky in them. So it's hard. I look around for quite a while trying to find ones that have more green and white, or, of course it's going to be warmer tones in the fall. Isn't that fun? Ooh, there's even more green. Wow. That's fun to watch. Their music is very relaxing. So I hope you'll look them up. I broke down and bought a real plant. I did have a real spider plant over here for months, and it's done nothing. I mean, it's gotten leaves, but no little spiders on it. So I moved it to the living room window. Maybe it'll do something now. Maybe it was just resting. I don't know. But I did have to repot it. So that was a lot of work. I've been working on all kinds of things like that, touching up stuff and cleaning. And it seems like a lot of the things that I purchased, they're very reasonable because they need a little TLC. I don't like things chippy, so I tend to fix them up. Just wanted to show you I had a green plant hanger. So over here, I have always loved the ivy. I don't know that any of this is Pyrex. The heavier the heavier ivy ones on the left down there are hazel atlas. But I'm not real sure who this one is. I know there's federal too. And I could have that turned around. I suppose I'm going to have to put notes on the bottom too again. But I do love them, and just had found years ago so many of them sets, that were just really, really reasonable. And who doesn't love the Crazy Daisy, that one, or Spring Blossom, the more olive green. I don't know, people seem to call them one and the same, but I've always thought of the bigger flower one as being Spring Blossom, and these being called Crazy Daisy that must have come out later. So that's all I have in that pattern. Such a pretty bright olivey green on that bottom one. I love that. So I just have a variety of green glassware. This one in the middle I did show last year. It's the only one I have. That could be federal. Very fun with the birds. Norm picked out this crazy large pitcher that looks like it's probably more for cocktails, which we didn't know at the time. I think some viewer told us that. It comes with very colorful glasses that he was so attracted to. He thought that was really a fun set, but I'm not going to show you all those colors right now, just the green pitcher. And I always was so happy to find this adorable little owl creamer and this large pitcher a couple years ago. Got a real deal on that large one. It was half price. A little more of the Spring Blossom in plain. All of these are uranium glass. My mother had this in another batch on the other side. These two I just purchased. I can't remember what they were, but they were so inexpensive and so neat. I think they call these tea room. They're very Art Deco. It seems like any of them that look like that, they're calling them tea room design, or I don't know what that actually means, if it's just a particular company or design that was made so geometric. Art Deco. This was my mother's. It was at my brother's house. That is also uranium. And this I found at a thrift store. It's absolutely gorgeous. I did show it last year, but it is not uranium glass. You'd almost think it would be. Now that I'd consider tea room too, just because of the really, really Art Deco lines. I absolutely loved it, and I sure wish I could have found the creamer to go with it. That would have been really great. Maybe someday, you never know. And there's with the black light. Yeah, I got a real deal on that set. I wish I could remember how much it was, but I don't. Look at how much is in there. Of course, they're stacked up too. That might make a difference. My mother's dish. But that, nope, not there. So over on this side, more uranium glass. These two were at thrift stores and they're different. I found them at least a year apart. It was very fun to find them, so inexpensive. And this was my mother's also, at my brother's house, and from my mom, those there. Rest of the bowls. And this I found somewhere, can't remember. I think it was a thrift store also. It does have strawberries on it. Very delicate strawberry pattern, so I guess I was told that's called a nappy. So you can see that is, again, that and that. And those two. It looks like, do you think there's a difference in the amount? Whoa, that one is crazy. Yeah. So I'm starting to get plenty of pieces and I appreciate them, and I do not look for them in antique malls. Nope. It's either a gift from my brother or I thrifted it. Up here is all thrifted glass, pressed glass, and I think they're so fun. Got them so cheap, and of course there's no creamer to go with that. That is called a spooner, and it is antique, and I got it for $3 at probably Bible's for Missions, or no, I think that was a Goodwill item. It's just beautiful. There's a different design in every other medallion there. And these are all thrifted. I actually had 3, and then I ended up, no, I actually had 1. Last year I had mentioned that I found 3 somewhere and was so happy when I got home to notice that I actually had 1 more from the year before. So that was very fun. Another little thrifted item that's just kind of unique. I really don't know if it's just considered a votive. It's quite large. It wouldn't be a toothpick holder. This one thrifted a couple years ago. Same with the 2 little creamers there. And I just found this in an antique mall in North St. Paul, antique shops. It is so neat. Very skinny, sweet little, I don't know if you'd call that a cruet. It does have a stopper, of course, and a pouring spout. So maybe it's considered a cruet. It's so neat. Whatever it's called, but I'll bet that's it. And this we found in an antique mall in Buffalo, Minnesota, a couple of years ago. So pretty. I really love that one. More thrifted glass. All of these, I just happened to find some of them were antique malls and they were just real reasonable because they only had one. Just love looking at all those patterns. Some more creamers, toothpick holders. That's my favorite. Would have been cuter without the toothpicks in it, I imagine. And I love that one. The hobnail is always so sweet, but this is quite fancy. Very fun. So up here, I found that whole set at a thrift store. So reasonable. Oh my goodness, what a deal. I was pretty happy. It was probably St. Croix Falls, Minnesota Family Pathways. They've had a lot of Pyrex there. So these are the pictures. I have shown them in the past. My favorite, but this we just found yesterday. We were in Stillwater, Minnesota after going to Up Your Alley in New Richmond, Wisconsin for their sale. And I asked Norm if we could stop at one of the many antique malls they had there. And this one was a very big place. And I really, really, really was wishing hard that I could find an Islip picture with green on it. And can you believe it? I wasn't even going to go down around this corner to look at two little cabinets that were way off the main aisle. And I just decided for some reason to go back and peek, and these were on the bottom shelf, way down on the floor. $25 for those 3 items. And they're in mint condition. Literally the color mint. I have never seen this one before, and I absolutely love our geometric Islip pictures. And these glasses are really big. You can see they're almost as tall as the picture is. Very, very big. So that was an incredible price for 3 large items. Normally that picture itself can be as high as $30, $35, especially in Red Wing. Very high priced. And the more rare, the higher it's going to be. I've shown those two to you before, and I found this whole set at Family Pathways too. Very, very fortunate. And I almost forgot. I have 2 of these. I found them 3 years ago. A little wall pocket with a cute little munchkin on it. Very fun. So I put the other little munchkin over here. I'm thinking of him as a leprechaun. So cute. People just love collecting all those little leprechaun planters and cute little guys. This I've had for many years. It's such a sweet spoon rest. Just gotta hang him up in the spring, in March. This is a nod to the Irish because I found this. It is new. It was at a chocolate store, Abdullah, in Apple Valley or Burnsville. I think there's 2 of them now. But it looks like chalkware. It was, I think it had, a little screw on the top for you to hang up. But I glued a very heavy duty magnet to it so I could put it here with the pot holders. And several weeks ago, I found on the internet very soft, rubbery flowers of different colors, different kinds of flowers. Red, pink, this crazy green looking, looks like a lily pad to me. And another color, a white daisy or a yellow daisy with a brown center. I forget, but I loved them so much. The set, I bought like 5. They were really reasonable. I can put a link to that if I can go find my order. So I have 5 of them. But the problem is you have to have a good sized loop on the hot pads that I could hang on it. You can hang a pair of scissors on it. The magnets on these are very strong, which is really nice. But I had to find, I have 5 of them up there, so I had to find 5 with a big enough loop that I could get over that thick end. The only other thing I can do is cut them. It's just a plastic that's not real thick. I did cut one to try it. Gets a little rough, but at least you have lines there where you could make it take that outside edge off. But I do have, other hooks. It won't go through these rings. It won't go over that wide hook. So I had to use some of my others for the other pot holders that just are not open enough. But that's fun. I love looking at all the green. I'd say this one in the middle is one of the fanciest ones. And of course that one's really super nice. Up here, I have, I think, a fantastic planter. I was so thrilled when we found this at the Bell Tower, I think it's called, in Spicer, Minnesota. We haven't been there for at least a year. At least. It's huge. And I can't remember what he was, the cost, but it was maybe $25. He's really, really big. I mean, this bread box is very big. I can hardly pick it up with stuff in it that I've got stored in it already. But you can see he's just huge, and he's just a beautiful design on him. I'm sorry for the glare. He is so cute. That is my favorite kind of planter, is an animal or a bird. Here's an old owl keychain. I bet a lot of you have seen these. They're fun. It's old phone number on it, and it's I think it said it was from a framing company in California. Another fun, kind of a limey green hot pad. I found this egg that's chalkware in a thrift store, and I was really, really surprised. Bibles for Missions, 59 cents. Very old. It's got the old green felt on the bottom of it. And it's a 4-leaf clover, but of course it was in with Easter stuff. And I've had that for at least a year, that canister, so I thought I would bring out my Harvest Gold blender that was at my brother's house. These were also from Rogers, in all the salt and pepper shakers that I was looking for. Like $6, so cute. Absolutely adorable. I could not pass them up because they must have belonged to a leprechaun, right? With the ivy on it. That is really sweet. They're Japan. This is an old lucite owl napkin holder that you may have seen in an old video of ours. I still love him. He's got a very, very pale green gingham check chest. It's very pale. My newest recipe box is this one. I was very happy to find that. It's in very nice condition. That one on the bottom is just giant. And it's the same as this one up here, only this one doesn't have a yellow lid. So I brought that one upstairs because it is more springy. And I brought up the butterfly one. And I think the orange one I brought upstairs too. They were all downstairs waiting for some springier weather, but I don't have that many yet that are all in greens or yellows or oranges. I don't know if they made that many like that in that color. Over here I have a couple lucite trivets that I've had for decades, and I did show them in my previous spring video. This is new. I'm trying to remember what antique mall I found that at. It holds 2 eggs, and it really is a perfect fit. It might look a little small, but Norm actually uses that in the morning because an egg just rolls all over the place on this stove. So he wants something to put the egg on while he's working on his bacon. He just loves his bacon and eggs in the morning. And I did find these last year at a thrift store. The Crazy Daisy, maybe more so, oil and vinegar set. Really nice. I was very happy to find those at Goodwill. This is what I decided to put up here over the stove. These 2 roosters are both the same mold, but they're really made differently. This one has got all of a dark green paint on his feathers, and his feet are pale yellow in his beak. And this one has more brown and more muted tones, and his feet are brown. So I could paint this guy's feet brown to match a little better. I just finished mixing up an orangey red to put on both of them, so they would be more appropriate for the colors that I want to use right now. I didn't want to use red. So I think this clock was from my brother's house. It works just great. Needed a good cleaning. And I happened to find last year these 2 matching pot holders. And this single little salt or pepper I found a year ago. So cute though, just by itself. Doesn't have to have a mate. And these 2 lucite flower bouquets I've had for decades. Way, way back in the 90s, we started collecting a lot of lucite, and I still have a lot of it. Some of you probably have seen in my crazy bathroom video. That's where I've had it. I even put out a St. Patty's Day towel. Just have one. I thrifted it. And this was very fun, finding this in really, really nice condition. It is way more green. I wish the camera wouldn't make things look a bluish green all the time. It seems to really have trouble with some colors. But it's very appropriate for out here, for under our sink area. Coffee cups and forks, knives and spoons. Very good condition. So I just hang it over a rod. It's twice that length. Works out real well, the small little picnic tablecloths. Let's go back here. This tray was at my brother's house, kind of tropical. All thrifted items down there, or from my brother. This large pitcher, I believe, was from my brother. Probably a batter, yeah, batter pitcher. And I did purchase that last year. I showed you the cremettes tin so I could use it for utensils. Cremettes of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Macaroni. And my mother's mixer. Thrifted this great big thing for $3 at a little thrift shop out west, and it does have a little chip off the back. Right? But they sanded it down, whoever had it previously. This is a very fun canister set we bought a year ago from Up Your Alley. Very nice for this time of year, from March. Nice muted tone on the fruit there. I showed you this last year. And just found this in Stillwater. Cute little frog planter. Thought it would be fun to stick my sponge in there. Sorry about the spigot. So I have shown these in previous years. My favorite green creamers. And these plates are all uranium glass. You can see we still have a lot of snow out there. So I always enjoy looking at the glass lit up in the window there. I put an orange cactus, faux cactus plant in there, and I made that crazy beaded hanger a couple years ago or so with just leftover beads. Didn't have much to work with. I ran out. But it works just fine for in the kitchen here. And I forgot to show you the hot pads. I mean pot holders. I'll never get that right, you know. It's just stuck in my brain forever. That's a pretty wild one, isn't it? Not a blue-green. It is green-green. Very Kelly green. Very Irish. That's too bad. Same with this one. Kind of frustrating, huh? I don't know what to do about that. Not sure there is anything I can do. Very green again. Green, all of these. That's funny, this one. Well, now that one's showing green. Maybe the white helps. Maybe that yellow is affecting it. Oh, that's really weird. The only one showing the true green. Oh my. I might as well show you a lot of work that Norm's been doing for me. He rearranged all of the milk glass up there, and we only put up what we have for hobnail. So even as of this morning, he was rearranging for me to take down all the other pieces that were not hobnail. And then I brought others upstairs that were down in storage. So I did have plenty. On the other side of the sink, I brought upstairs what could be a hobbyist, I guess, bird that I believe you put cleanser in. That's what I think. Not enough holes in it to be a pomander. I believe they're for cleanser. over the years I had found a couple of them. So I have the old toaster up here from my brother's house that I had mentioned in my last kitchen video that I believe was my mom and dad's old Toastmaster. A nice tray that I found last year, and love this planter I've had for many years. Long time. I think it's one made by Lefton. They made a lot of really very fancy basket weave looking planters, different colors. I have a gold one that's square. And I've shown you those two fun roosters from my brother's house. They may have been part of my mother's collection. So I did show those last year to you. Love to have them out this time of year. I found more cookbooks, like about 4 more on one of our last thrifting trips up north. And I'll show you that beautiful Hager pitcher over there that I thrifted for $5 at Goodwill a year ago. Really surprised when I got home and got the sticker off of it. I did not know it was Hager. It's lovely percolator, again, from my brother's house. I don't know who could have owned that, but I thrifted that a couple years ago for your tea bags, and I just found this very cute little tin of tea, loose tea that must have been in there. Thought it would be cute to have that. And I love these mugs. I've had them for many years. I found, every once in a while, I'll find like 2, at the most 3, of these really tall mugs in St. Paul, the Mall of St. Paul. They have so much wonderful retro stuff there. So they've always been a favorite set. And I'll show you more up above. And there's this pair. Really fun big flowers. And they're very tall footed mugs. There's just a few of the green D-handle glass bake mugs. And then here's 3 more tall ones that I found also at the Mall of St. Paul. So nice. Some of our glassware. I have 8 of those. And just purchased 4 very nice rippled like tumblers from Up Your Alley on their sale. And I had some other ones, a different kind of olive green ones in the back there. And I showed these last year. We drink coffee out of all of these bone china mugs. So I have a real wide variety of very floral ones back there. Butterflies and flowers, just love them. And a lot of orange ones up there. And green and orange up there. Oh, I forgot. I'm mug crazy, aren't I? I know. I found these plaid and polka dot ones a year ago in Hudson, Wisconsin, called Nostalgia. Wonderful antique shop. So I only found 3. Really nice. but I happen to have the other green ones. So that works fine. This was a unique piece that I thought would be very fun for the kitchen counter here, for showing you could serve something neat in it. It's higher right there. That back corner is higher than the other. It kind of drops down. Strawberry pattern inside, and it is a California piece, and it was really cheap in an antique shop. Really, really cheap. So I couldn't pass that up. I love the drip glaze and I love the green. And this also was a real deal. It is a very old lucite napkin holder in a really olive color and rusty leaves. Kind of unique, the old style with the metal base on it instead of being all lucite. A little thrifted base, and found this pig also at Hudson, Wisconsin Nostalgia last year. He is for hors d'oeuvres, your toothpicks. Very Irish pig, I would say. I think he is just so fun. In the last living room video a week ago, I talked about how Norm cleaned up on that very top ledge and put all of the milk glass candy dishes up there. The tallest ones are probably considered more your apothecary. The three in the middle there, quite tall. That one in the middle is just so heavy. Unbelievable. Can't believe how heavy that is. So it's probably better that they're not sitting on shelving in our living room. And you've seen the crafts. These were all from my brother, but I'll show you again because there are new viewers, thankfully. We're so happy that you're with us too. So these are the ones that I picked out of his basement full of them. He still has more. I'm sure we're just going to donate them. A lot of them have your little starburst pattern or a snowflake looking pattern. Very fun. I really do like all these because they go together very nicely. The other odd ones that I had on the cupboard behind me, they were way too different. These were more coffee pots among there. I think of some of them with more of a coffee pot look, than a fancy carafe. Do you see where all those green planters are? Do you remember that I had all milk glass planters there before? For how many years? Well, I know at least 2 years, possibly more. So I was collecting these for the living room, but my collection started to get kind of big, and it was because, you'd see one and you want to get it. It was only $5 and you think, well, it's footed, it's green, I guess I'll take it because I may not see another one for a long time. But then you start finding ones that are actually prettier and you think, oh my goodness. The one on the end there, the little round one, is not footed. There's an identical one on the other end. We just got those yesterday at Up Your Alley on their sale. They sold them both together, so they're just beautiful. I'm very happy to have them. And I like the real weird brush McCoy, that dark olive green one there. with mushrooms on it. A lot of these are McCoy, and they're getting so expensive, but believe me, when I get one, it's going to be very reasonable. I will not spend $25 on a planter. No way. Maybe 9. So I've been very fortunate to find all of these, and I am thrilled to have them out here to look at now for spring and summer. I am really happy. I hope you like that too. I ended up bringing this cute planter back out here where I had it originally. I did end up putting it for a while there next to the desk in the living room, on the end of the desk. So you would see it when you first walked into our house. But I brought home a new plant stand from my brother's house. It's wood and it's large. It's pretty cool. So I brought this back here. Just thought I would show you I think that's Red Wing, yes. The big swan in the bottom is Red Wing. It is kind of speckled. And I think that swan is Hull, isn't it? That's the small one. I have the big one too. And we bought that fish planter a long, long time ago. So I'm going to enjoy it out here now. This is the beautiful picture that was at Goodwill for, I think it was $4.99, $5.99. I was really, really surprised. It was over in the plant area, the faux plants and the vases and, planters. I couldn't believe it. And they covered up on the bottom, they covered up Hager. So it may be a newer Hager piece, but oh boy, was I happy when I got home. I have several pieces now of pottery that have this really very, very stripy drip with a lot of white in it. Sorry about the glare. You're seeing me in there too. Yeah, there's a lot of white in this particular glaze, so it's a very fresh green. I really like that. I just found this in Stillwater when we went after Up Your Alley, and we went down to Stillwater and got to go through one store before I was totally exhausted. This is so sweet. Lot of green on it. They had 2 of them in the same booth, and one of them had much more red on the wheels. So I picked this one. It was much paler. But she's really a cutie. And I found this a year or more ago. I think it's a doggy. And this a year ago. Family Pathways. Royal Copley. Sweet, sweet bird. So that's what I have in the corner. So that's all for today. I'm sure you're either falling asleep or been watching this in segments, because I know they get very, very long. I would love to tell you that my living room video got a comment from someone. All they said to me was, "Less talking, please." Wow. Well, you can't please everyone. I don't know what to do. If I just walked around and showed you everything, I could do a whole video of just some quiet music. That'll put you to sleep for sure. Just show you everything, and hope you don't mind that I'm not explaining where I got it. A big reason why I enjoy telling you about where I got something is to let you know how much is out there that can be thrifted. And I guess a lot of it's guilt. So I want you to know that I got it so reasonable. I don't travel. I don't go to movies. Not that I don't want to, but I just couldn't sit there without having leg problems. We don't fly anywhere. I've never been on a commercial jet. I don't know if I ever will. I'm a little afraid to. So this is our fun. This is what we do for entertainment. And we love the fact that we can entertain you too. So I hope you've had a good time. And we love that you are so sweet with your comments. You're very, very good to us. We thank you so, so much, and we wish you a wonderful rest of your springtime. See you again soon. Bye now.